Thank you very much. So, my name is Alex. My brother Jonathan is super bummed that he couldn't be here. He made it very, very clear to remind me many times that I was able to come here and he had to go meet with one of our manufacturers. So he's always with me in spirit, but he's not going to be able to join us here today. The name of our brand is Umano, and I know that at some point after this, there are some chips and salsa from Ford Fry, so I don't want to be the guy that stands between you and chips and salsa, but I do want to tell you our story and tell you a little bit about a journey that we were going through as a brand when Jeff called, and I think it's a great stage to be able to share that with you. Umano is Italian for mankind, and we are a fashion brand. Jonathan and I started Umano in 2011, and we started it as a passion project. We were working in the evenings, we were working on the weekends, then we started calling in sick to work, and it was like, all right, this is getting a little bit more serious. We really need to take it to the next step. And we decided to do that. We moved back home to Athens, Georgia. I heard the barking, and I appreciate that. With our parents, mom and dad. Mom is in the audience there. You can say hello to mom if you see her. But we moved back home, literally sharing a room like we did when we were 7, switching who gets the bed, who gets the air mattress. And we did all of this because we believe that much in Umano and in what we are doing. No background. Jonathan worked in finance. I worked for the CIA. So really, both of those employers don't appreciate you calling in sick to work, especially when what you're doing is this fashion thing on the side. But we really wanted to do it. And the reason we really wanted to do it, to explain that, I need to geek out a little bit about social entrepreneurship. And I know that this audience really understands social entrepreneurship and what it means. I can't help myself. I still have to geek out about it. And the reason why Jonathan and I were willing to quit our jobs and move back home and sleep on an air mattress and do all that crazy stuff was the realization that you don't have to choose between doing well and doing good. And that for us, that was super simple, and you're like, yeah, of course. But that realizing that deep down in our guts made every sacrifice so easy to do. And that is the concept of social entrepreneurship, taking for-profit ingenuity to serve a social purpose. And why we believe that is so powerful is because business is the only thing out there that can create resources. You sell a product or a service at a profit. You have this widget, costs you $1, you sell it for $2, you can go back and make more widgets. And as long as you are meeting the needs of your customers, in theory, that's infinitely scalable. So no other organization out there has that type of a structure that can address social problems in an infinitely scalable way. Nobody else. Everybody else requires these resources except social enterprises. So for us, that was the real reason why we did it. And in terms of Umano, it's simple. It's about kids' art, it's about you, and it's about our mission. And what we do is we take a kid's drawing, we showcase it as a work of art. And with every product you purchase, we give a kid a backpack full of school supplies. And the drawings that we showcase, there's this raw confidence in a kid's drawing. And that's what we really like to showcase. You see, one of my favorites, other than Tiny Dancer by Emmanuel, is the Eddie, the friendly monster. But it's this really great raw confidence in the kid's drawing, and that is what we really want to come to life. And we do that so that we can empower a kid. The whole heart, my parents are both teachers, and that was a big reason why the idea of empowering kids, education, and helping kids help themselves succeed. But that journey that I was talking about, that Jeff, I got to chat with Jeff about it, and it's always great to bounce ideas off of Jeff, and he was saying, hey, really kind of share that with you guys, was to really soul search in terms of our brand. What are our values? And you assume that with a give back, a social enterprise, it's obvious. I mean, you've got these great values, but what was really difficult for us is that we had a ton of values, and you're not really focused as a brand because there's so much going on and so many layers to the story, and what do you prioritize? And at the end of the day, what do you use to really help you navigate all of those big decisions? There has to be one very simple, focused thing. And even though we started in 2011, we didn't really have that very ironclad, super focused thing that was going to help us navigate the tough decisions. So we started really digging deep, doing deep dives to figure out what that was going to be. And it looked a lot like that. You can go in a million directions. Good luck. Like really, there's no rule book. How do you figure this out? What's the formula? And that doesn't exist. We started to zoom in a little bit in terms of what we believe as a brand. We believe in the unlimited potential of a kid's imagination. And we believe that art inspires kids to create their own path. For us, art education is not about learning to draw, it's about learning to see. So we're like, all right, that's getting a little bit better, but that's still a lot of stuff. How are you going to run your decision making through a filter like that? So we had to continue to simplify. And when we really got down to the nitty-gritty, our mission to empower kids exists to unleash creativity. That is really why we started to feel more of like, okay, that is why Umano was put on this earth, is to really unleash creativity. So we started to think more and more about what that means and the idea of being a catalyst of creativity. But that sounds really corporate, and we're like, we don't really like the word catalyst, and how can we say it in better terms? For us, it became very simple, to be the thing that starts the stuff. And that came out in one of our labs. Labs at Umano stand for like, wow, awesome branding brainstorms. And we pull the whole team together, and we get to talk about these types of issues. And this was where we were saying, okay, how can we say in the most simple words what we do? And we want everything we do, we want to do it to be the thing that starts the stuff. Whatever it is that is, whatever stuff you're talking about, to really unleash that creativity. And that became the filter that we use in all of our decision making. And we call this the virtuous cycle. And right in the middle of our virtuous cycle is now a much more focused approach that we take to understanding what our values are. And at the end of the day, yes, it's fashion. And we say we lead with our fashion foot. It takes 2 feet to balance, but you have a dominant foot. And for us, since day one, was leading with the fashion foot. We wanted our product to stand on its own. Jonathan is out talking with one of our manufacturers. We went through great lengths. Our fabric comes from Turkey. Jonathan spent about 3 months on the factory floor in Turkey, going all the way down to the yarn level to get the fabric exactly the way that we wanted it to. So there could have been a lot of different ways to go about really figuring out what our values are as a brand. But at the end of the day, when we thought about everything that's leading up to it, the product, the fashion, the empowering kids, the idea of art education, all of that was driven by the simple concept that we want as a brand to always be the thing that starts the stuff. And so the last thing for me that we realized after this journey that we took as a brand just a few months ago that we've been working on was the realization that success today is not about value, it's really about values. And that in terms of a branding perspective has helped us a ton to really be able to always have a very focused and a really great approach to all of our decisions that we make, looking at it through that filter. So thank you very much. It's been great to be here.